Welcome back to Some Offense Intended. I'm Jeremy Robinson.
I am Mike Mick.
And again, last week we had audio issues. So I had to, because we do the backup audio, thankfully we do the backup audio. So I ended up cutting all that together when I was in Vegas and uploading it.
And I appreciate that.
I think we might have figured out the issues with it because we were messing around with a bunch of settings and found one setting that I turn on to keep the Windows chimes, like if a notification pops up, from coming through on the recording. Apparently that cancels the audio, which doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't make any sense.
So,
if you hear Windows notifications, that's why.
Well, yeah. I also have that supposed to be playing through the TV, and that's turned down. So, and you can see there's an uploaded spot on the audio. So I think it's actually recording.
Oh, I certainly hope so.
Because, at least they were more helpful this time. They were like, well, Riverside, they were like, try a Google meeting, and if the audio and everything comes across fine on that, then it's our side that's the issue. Like, that's finally, at least now they have a troubleshooting process.
They gave us something to do rather than, we'll get back to you.
It's you.
We'll get back to you, and then never get back to you.
Yeah, so the 4th of July just happened.
Yes.
And I didn't see any massive stories like last year on somebody that absolutely just Zoidberged their hands.
Yeah, I didn't see any Zoidbergs.
So
I did see that there was a lot of people who had emergency calls, though, between the 1st and the 4th.
Oh, I'm sure.
There was, let me see, what did it say here? 956 calls.
Well, yeah, probably. Is that a gunshot? I heard gunshots.
And 548 transports. Yeah, people, oh, he shot him.
548 transports. Is that any emergency vehicle?
I guess. Yeah, I didn't go into details.
Because, I mean, if that's like arresting people, an ambulance ride, I don't imagine a fire truck would be considered a transport.
But an ambulance would definitely be.
Yeah. So, between an ambulance
So I'm saying when they go to respond, 548 of those 900 plus, they were transported someplace, either arrested or taken to a hospital.
I mean, that's a lot.
But apparently it's down from last year. So apparently maybe either, I was going to say people are being smarter, but I think it's more maybe some people took themselves out of the gene pool last year so they couldn't fuck themselves up this year.
Well, I don't know, because normally you hear a lot about like some massive parties that are going on or anything.
It was very tame. Like the fireworks around my neighborhood, there was not nearly as much as there's been in the past. And they stopped a lot earlier. I think it's because people had to go to work the next day.
That's possible. This is the first 4th of July we haven't worked since I've been up here.
This is the second one. And the first one, the casinos actually had a lot of fireworks go off.
I might have still been going in for overtime or something. I don't remember.
But they had a lot of them going off. And they were really loud the one year. I mean, like, they set off car alarms.
Yeah.
It's like the really loud ones, it's like they didn't shoot them up high enough or something. Because I've never heard them that loud before. I've heard plenty of fireworks, and it was crazy.
I don't know. I've heard some that are. I don't even think it depends on the size of them.
But of course, I was on the 5th floor too, so I've never been up.
But like the size of them, I think there's extra stuff involved that packs the extra punch. Because I've seen some that are kind of small and pretty far up that you still feel, and I've seen some massive ones pretty close to the ground that you don't feel. I don't know. I'm not a scientist.
Well, they have the ones that, of course, go big in the sky. And then there's ones where it's just a flash of light and it's just a huge noise. It's like a stick of dynamite going off in the air. Yeah, but it was like that. Just it seemed like it was 2 sticks instead of 1. It was just weird. It just seemed louder than usual. And like I said, I heard car alarms going off. I heard that once when I was living in Vegas, but it wasn't from fireworks. There was a huge strike of lightning right outside of my house. Yeah. And it literally set off all of the car alarms on the street, except mine. Because I drove a Volkswagen, and the Volkswagen alarm on mine, it would only go off if something drew power. Like if you open the door and the dome light turns on. Yeah. It wasn't from
movement or...
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, you missed the fun drive home after one of the days working this week.
Oh, damn.
Because, first I'm getting in my car. and I hear a noise, a loud noise. So I know immediately that it is somebody hitting somebody else. Like somebody was exiting and somebody was coming in. So the one guy was trying to pull out into the street, and the other guy was driving in to go, park to go to work. And I heard the noise of the collision, and I look up and I'm in time to see the car completely flip around and facing the wrong direction.
Oh.
So he had to hit him pretty hard for a short distance.
Yeah.
And the whole front bumper was tore off. There's a huge scrape on the side. I actually have a picture of the car on my phone. I'll show you at the end of the show. But yeah, and then when that one didn't affect me, I was able to get out of there quickly. I left in a hurry. I wasn't going to stay. So there was a lot of people standing around watching. I'm like, well, the accident's already over, so why am I going to stay here?
Yeah.
And I didn't actually see the collision, so I don't know what actually happened. I just saw the resulting.
Yeah.
So you get out and you're on the way to the 80. And you know that entrance to the 80?
Yep.
Well, there was a semi covering most of the two lanes. We had to go into the shoulder to go around it to get onto the on-ramp.
What?
Yeah, the semi was like out off of their on-ramp or their off-ramp.
Yeah.
And went straight across into our on-ramp.
Why was he not moving? Was there something like
there was police there. There was I didn't see.
There's.
I was going to get to it, but okay. I didn't see if there was like I didn't see if it hit anything, or I don't know why the semi was just.
Well, I mean, I wouldn't put it past someone to just park in a random stupid fucking spot. So like police being there is. There was
no ambulances or anything, just a couple highway patrol.
Yeah.
But it really slowed down my drive home, so that kind of pissed me off. And then I'm driving along, and I look over to the left, and I see more highway patrol. Huh. Some guy had gone off the road, way off the road. Not from the, I don't think he was from the interstate, but he was from one of the side roads, and was way into the grass. Hood up, his Escalade looked all fucked up. Yeah.
I think it was like 2 or 3 weeks ago. There was a car that spun around and hit a fifth wheel trailer.
Wow.
And like it had just happened maybe 15 minutes before I had driven past it, because I was in the first like group of people going slow past it.
Huh.
And it looks like, I don't know if they fell asleep. Somebody that was coming 80 east might have fallen asleep, drove in one of the rare spots that there isn't a median.
Yeah.
Just the big dirt patch in the middle that like angles up.
Yeah.
He hit that. It looks like he lost control on that, and it spun him around. And the ass of I think it was like a Toyota Corolla.
Yeah.
Hit right, truck pulling a fifth wheel was driving, and it barely touched the truck's bumper, but nailed the fifth wheel backwards.
Damn.
And like the back of the car was gone. Like almost into the back seat is where the car started being whole again. The fifth wheel was pretty fucking wrecked. And the only thing I could think was, it's a good thing he spun around, because if he hit that head on, he'd have been dead.
Yeah, he's
for sure.
But that car at work, it was a Honda. I think it was an Accord. It was still there Saturday when I went into work. They had moved it to the side and put caution tape around it, and the bumper sitting beside it. The front bumper just sitting right beside it. I just thought that was interesting. And then it was still there later. And the thing is the person who was driving the Honda, had he been on time to work that day, he wouldn't have been in the accident.
Well,
it was after 6. It was close to 6:05 when I got out to my car and saw the accident happen, or heard the accident happen.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of people that are in a rush for no reason. Like, if you're going to be late, you're going to be late.
Yeah.
But before we get too far off of fireworks, when I was in Vegas, we went to, I don't know what it's called, the Bull Ring by the Speedway. They had some like set of races.
Yeah.
That was, the first race was, I think they called it like skid plate racing. So you have front wheel drive cars that are like ratty, like no windows, there's nothing in them, like put a cage in it.
Yeah.
And then on the rear, you have a hubcap that you have a welded skid plate to the bottom, so that it's basically just front wheel drive drifting the whole time around the track.
Yeah.
So
We know somebody at work who could get into that racing.
So that was pretty fun. And then it went through a couple different, like, super modified classes, like super stocks, classic stocks, outlaw stock. And then it ended with, and they said it's what everybody goes there for, boat racing. So a lot of those cars from the beginning, the skid plate racing class, they put regular wheels back on the back, and they put a chain on it, and they pull a boat, like with no trailer, with no motor, with just the whole of the boat around the bull ring. And the person at the end who has the most boat left wins.
I have not seen that before.
And then, like,
I think I would enjoy that.
after like 2 or 3 laps, they put out wrecking vehicles. So, like, they had one, like an old F-250 that was painted to look like Metro, and this like super short minivan go out and like try to wreck the boats and like hit the boat. Like, one of them got ripped off completely because of it.
Oh, that sounds cool.
Like, it was really odd, but it was a lot of fun.
So, did the police go and raid the place?
Did what?
Did the police go and raid the place? You had outlaws there.
No. Or there was a fuckload of mosquitoes out there, though.
Oh, God, I hate
My
mosquitoes.
legs got bit up.
Oh, I hate mosquitoes. One of the times I went to Yosemite, there was so many mosquitoes because we went in June instead of July, and there was still a lot of standing water.
Yeah.
That's how you get mosquitoes. There was a point when I was putting food in the bear box, and there were so many that when I was standing at the bear box to put the food in there, I held my breath. So I then ran away from it because there were so many mosquitoes right in front of it that I was afraid I was going to breathe them in.
Okay, I was waiting for that explanation. Like,
Yeah.
can they not? It's like a T-Rex. If you don't move, they can't see you. If you don't breathe, they can't find you.
Well, they found me, but I didn't want to inhale them. I didn't want to actually have mosquitoes in my lungs.
Yeah. Yeah, but Vegas doesn't have a lot of standing
No, they
water.
normally don't have mosquitoes.
And they still haven't gotten their monsoon season yet. They're like, it's still going to be another while. So I don't know.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's like a seasonal thing. Like the grasshopper thing was this year again.
Yeah.
So I guess mosquitoes follow shortly after. But yeah, and then on the 4th, we had a block party with my brothers. It was nice.
Nice. Yeah, I didn't do shit on the 4th. Watched some TV. Played some video games. Zelda mostly.
Can you make fireworks in that?
Well, there were some things that blew up, but they weren't supposed to. It was funny. I was watching something. I was doing these different, because you have these different shrine things, and they're like puzzles you have to figure out, and the way you get through them. And I was doing it, and I thought, I don't think I'm doing this the way they intended people to do this. I'm like, I don't think this is. So I was curious. After I finished one of the shrines, I went and I watched a YouTube video. I'm like, yeah, no, that's definitely not the way I just did this shit. Like, they had to use this wheel and then do all this other stuff. I'm like, I didn't do any of that. What I did was completely different. But what I did was more effective. So I'm like, yeah, I like my way better.
Yeah, there's normally a couple different ways to do.
Yeah, well, that's one of the things that in this Zelda is that they do give you different ways to do things. And I do enjoy that quite a bit.
That's what happens when you have like a Elder Scrolls GTA Zelda.
It's really cool when you get you can paraglide to different places and things like that. When you jump off, we've talked about it. Like the first time I jumped off, it gave me the anxiety, like I was about to fall from a long distance. And it's a ridiculous amount of time. I mean, like the amount of time you take to fall to get to the ground. It's a long fall because you're way up in the sky in these sky islands, and some of the islands are higher than others. Yeah, it's
That's cool that you can actually fall the whole way, though. It's not like just
as long as you land in water.
Well, no, but I mean, like a lot of video games, you fall off of something that's like.
Oh, there's some areas.
It'll just be yep, you died.
There's some areas where it's you just died, because like there's no land.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Do you do the whole fall before you die, or it just says you died?
You fall for a ways. It gives you a chance to actually save yourself.
See, that's.
And then but most of the time you actually fall the whole way.
But that's even different than what I'm talking about. It's like if you jump into water in most video games, because for some reason they don't think that someone that can do parkour and pack like 50 pounds in their backpack and like travel everywhere, they can't get into waist deep water without dying.
Yeah.
Like as soon as you touch your toe into the water, that you died.
Well, that's what it was with GTA.
Yeah.
On 3 and Vice City, you get in the water, you just die.
Yeah, but that's what I'm talking about with like falling off of the other cities that you said you just fall for ways and then die.
Yeah.
Most video games is like, well, there's nothing down there, so you die instantly. So, I mean, it's cool that they have something worked into it that you can try to save yourself.
Which reminds me, I did a video thing, a short clip video on my PlayStation 5. It showed like it goes in like a news break, and it shows a little bit of Vice City when it shows. And I didn't actually touch any of the people. I just was on this walkway with water on each side and just revved up my chainsaw, and it scared the people, and they jumped in the water. And of course, they jump in the water, so they all die. But I did it like a news break, like they're showing this is what's going on, stay away from this area type thing. I didn't have voices on there saying that, but and then after the end of it, it clipped into brought to you by, and it was some offense intended. I couldn't get it to my. I was having trouble uploading it from my PlayStation 5 to something so I could actually post it on our social media.
Speaking of social media, Threads came out.
Yes.
Which is Instagram, Facebook's version of Twitter. Have you heard of the lawsuit that's already happening?
No. I heard that 30 million people in the first 2 days signed up.
I think it was like 70 million in the first day. It's a lot of people.
I read an article that said 30 million in 2 days. Yeah, it's a lot of people. I signed up.
So Elon, who owns Twitter, basically said that he's going to file a lawsuit against Meta for Threads. Not just because he's like, competition's healthy, but cheating isn't. And he's basically accusing them of, I think the top 15 to 20 people that made Threads are previous Twitter employees.
Yeah, I heard that.
From the like tech development team.
Yeah.
And they still somehow, the article I read says that those people still have access to Twitter's trade secrets and IP.
Oh, that's not good.
So, like, yeah, if that's the case,
well, if they signed a no
lawsuit,
but if they signed a no compete clause as well,
yeah, but no competes can often be gotten around because it's not their idea, it's not this, it's not that, and a lot of the times, like, if you work for a company that cleans pools or like fixes random IT stuff, like I've signed a non-compete before in a third-party IT thing that I did in Vegas.
Yeah.
And it basically said, if I quit or get fired from this guy who was just contracting me in, of like, he allowed me access to platforms that was like, it seemed not too legal the way he did things. And he ended up not paying several people, me included, so I just stopped working for him. And I kept doing third-party IT shit on these platforms. And he was saying that he was going to sue me for the non-compete of blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, like, not making my own company. I'm still just doing what's openly available on platforms that are publicly known that you happen to introduce me to. I would be more than happy to take this to court and talk to him a little bit about that. And he never stopped. He never talked to me again after I laid it out like that. I'm like, there's a lot of stuff that you can write into non-competes that nobody understands, but it's too broad of a, well, you can't look at a computer again or I can sue you. You can't fucking do that.
No, you can't do that. I had a no compete clause when I was selling cars, but like if I left selling the type of car I was selling at the time, I could go and sell Volkswagen or Chevy or whatever others. I just couldn't go and sell the same kind of car.
Yeah.
That was my no compete.
And it also gets really weird. Like when I worked at Best Buy forever ago, and then I got a job at Sam's Club in the tire shop. Sam's Club was fine with me working at Best Buy, even though they sell some of the similar things, laptops, computers, fridges, like some stuff. Not much, some. Best Buy got mad, like really mad about it. They were like, you have to quit one or the other. Like whatever. I'm like, bro, I'm in the tire shop.
Yeah.
Like, I'm selling tires. Like, Best Buy doesn't sell tires.
Yeah, I was going to say, are you going to cut into Best Buy's tire sales?
Sam's Club is the bigger entity, and they were fine with me working at both.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'm quitting Best Buy then. Like, because it was like $250 less an hour.
Yeah.
They wouldn't let me move out of the warehouse into sales, even though I outsold most people in home theater and computers. And I'm like, okay, that's fine. I quit. Like, that was easy. Like, you could have just let me work both.
Easy solution. Yeah.
I'm like, that's fucking wild that Best Buy is the one that had the issue
That's weird.
because of how they word. It's not really a it's a conflict of interest that how they word it. Like, I can understand, like, if I'm selling computers at Best Buy and then I'm in the mobile and computer area in Sam's Club.
Yeah.
Yes, 100% that's a conflict of interest because I'm doing the same thing at both. I was in the warehouse shipping and receiving at Best Buy and in the tire shop. So the least amount of sales in both companies, I was doing that. And Best Buy had an issue with it. So a lot of people don't understand what conflict of interest or non-competes anything is.
I had a job where I was working at one restaurant, and then down the road a ways, there was another one I worked at. And the guy's like, well, you need to make sure to make that we're your priority. No.
I mean, you both pay me, so whichever one's going to pay me at that time is my priority.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
I worked both, and I ended up quitting the one that wanted me to make them the priority. So apparently they were not the priority. Yeah, I remember the one day I was working, and it was a packed bar. And we had already had a meeting about bartenders because we'd have 3 bartenders.
Right.
And we had a meeting saying, don't just disappear. Let somebody know. And I was on the busiest part of the bar. I had the tickets coming up for the servers, plus I had customers around me.
Right.
Everybody else just had to worry about their customers. I took care of all the tickets because we only had one printer. The other printer was down. So every single ticket went up on mine, so I had to make all of them. So I'm there, I'm making all these drinks. I'm making all these drinks for people. And at one point, I turn around and I see just all these people with money out trying to get drinks. And both of the other bartenders are gone. And my ticket thing is going up. And I actually tore the ticket off, took some of the printer paper out, wrote my 2 weeks notice, and handed it to the manager. I stopped making drinks for a moment to write the 2-week notice and handed it over.
That's great.
Yeah. And then, I mean, I could have just left.
Yeah. Be like, this is me telling you I'm disappearing.
I was just mad. Both of them are gone. I'm like, how do you both go?
Yeah.
You don't go to the bathroom at the same time. Don't sneak out and have a smoke at the busiest time of the day. We're on a wait at this time, and the bar is just packed with people.
That's wild.
I made it through. But you know, when you have it like that, and then suddenly you get a couple different tickets with blended drinks.
Yeah.
And like one's a strawberry daiquiri, one's a virgin pina colada, and you got a strawberry pina colada. Now that can be done. I do the daiquiri first, the virgin colada, and then add the strawberry and the alcohol to, you know. I don't have to clean it to make the
I heard a lot of names.
Yeah. Well, those are all frozen drinks.
Yeah.
Yeah. We actually had at one point, we had all these blenders that the gears are plastic. So when they catch onto the thing, they, you know, to get it to blend.
Right.
If you don't do it right, if you put it down there when it's spinning, it's going to tear up the gears. At one point, we actually had on one end of the bar just a graveyard of blenders. Yeah. Then they got us this blender that was nothing was breaking it. Yeah, and that disappointed a lot of people. It was like the
Vitamix.
Yeah.
Yeah, because there's the Vitamix and the Blendtec.
And
They're
that thing's nothing
rivals
broke
for
that
each
one.
other.
Nothing broke that one.
I like the Blendtec because it's the square bottle. That's the one I have. Because it's the square, so it's easier to scrape shit out of. The Vitamix had like the weird.
Our Vitamix
like,
was square.
Twist up. I haven't seen a square Vitamix.
But this was a long time ago. But then we eventually got rid of that when we got the Island Oasis. And that was super easy.
I don't know what that means.
You pour a little mix into this little cup. You put it. It's got the ice above it.
Oh, okay.
It shaves it, and then it goes into it already shaved, and then it mixes it all together, and
Nice.
it measures everything out for you perfectly.
Yeah.
The only thing is you have to make sure to fill that,
The ice
that
up.
ice up on the top.
I would imagine a lot
Why
of
isn't
people
this
forget
working? Why isn't this working?
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
like
we could actually make
McDonald's
milkshakes.
ice cream. McDonald's ice cream machine. It's broke. Have you tried adding shit into it?
Have you tried turning it on?
No. Nope. Can't do that.
And then we also had our cappuccino espresso machine. Made it all at one, but oh my god, we got the biggest, most expensive one. I think it was like $45,000 to $50,000 for this machine. It took up a huge space on the bar.
I don't know why they're so fucking expensive.
I don't know, but like when I used that one, it was a pain in the ass. But I used to. They always had these commercials for this thing where you could use a hand crank and whip up your froth for your milk and be like, make restaurant quality cappuccino. So I used to bug my brother. I'm like, yeah, I make restaurant quality cappuccinos all the time because I make them in a fucking restaurant. But then I was bartending at a Marriott, and they had an easy system. You put the little thing in there, you hit the button, first you select what you're making. Let's say I'm making a latte. Switch to latte. Take this little straw, pop it into the milk container. It's making the latte. Then it pulls up the milk out of the container into the thing and froths it to the perfect latte, cappuccino, whatever you're doing. It was great. Easiest one I've ever used.
Is there a different amount of milk froth that you use?
Yeah, a latte is going to be different than cappuccino. Latte is going to have more cream and less froth, where cappuccino is going to be mostly froth.
I feel like that's like if you pour a beer great versus terrible, though. Like, wouldn't it just be?
It's a little different. But if you make them wrong, people will be like, "This is wrong."
Well, I mean, you walk up and I'll have an Americano. Like, just get your bougie ass. It's coffee and water.
Yeah.
I don't know why an Americano people think it's good, and the people that order it are so hipster and like, I'm the best.
Yeah, I don't know why people want watered down coffee. Although when I used to work at one restaurant, my manager, he'd go behind the bar and he'd make me an espresso on ice, and I liked it.
I mean, see,
but I like cold.
Iced coffee is good.
I like cold.
Espresso on ice doesn't mean it's an Americano.
No, but it was just, I just liked it cold. That's why I did it. I didn't do it.
I don't understand why a lot of the famous coffees that people order are a thing, like the Americano.
Yeah. See, I like an iced latte, vanilla iced latte.
Yeah, those can be good.
I also like a frappuccino with an extra shot of espresso in it. That tastes so good. It's called I can't remember what they call it, but but I had something like that in Denver. I was at the airport, and it was the only coffee place I saw that was open, and they had a thing where they put the vanilla ice cream in the espresso. I'm like, holy shit! I drank it. It was the greatest thing ever.
That'd be good.
Oh my god!
I've tried using chocolate ice cream in coffee.
Yeah,
it doesn't have the same effect.
It doesn't. Yeah, it's a letdown.
Well, because it's cream, it's sugar, it should be exactly what you need, but it's fucking not.
No,
I don't know why.
That reminds me, like you know, drumsticks, ice cream.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Not chicken wings, not chicken parts either. But Haagen-Dazs came out with one, and I bought it a while ago. And first one, instead of having the sugar cone, it's got a cookie cone.
That sounds good.
Well, the first one I ate, I'm like, yeah, it's got a cookie, but it tastes like a stale cookie. I don't want a stale cookie.
No, stale cookies are not good.
But I still had more because I bought the box, so I didn't just buy one. So I bought the box. So the next time I ate one, I'm like, wow, this cookie does not taste stale. This is good. I like this. Then I go to eat another one another day. Stale cookie again.
How many came in the box? Was it only 3?
About 4. I had the last one yesterday.
Was it stale?
It was stale. Ice cream was good, but I mean,
you have a 25% chance of enjoying your Haagen-Dazs drumstick.
Yep.
I'd say those are not good odds.
No, they are not good odds. Surprisingly, I did not email them.
Yet.
Yeah. Yeah, it was a bit disappointing because I was really, when I saw something about it, I was really looking forward to it. I really am a person who enjoys their ice cream.
Me too, but I don't. Eh. Um, Speaking of emailing people, so me and Mike started doing something because I saw a video on Facebook because of how many issues we have with Amazon orders.
Yeah.
That if you say this is a gift and it's more than 2 days late, you're supposed to be able to get a full refund and keep it. So I've been selecting this as a gift every time I
I'm
order
doing
something
that
since
from now
then.
on. Yeah.
I haven't had any fucking issues, even
Of course
like a
not.
day late after I've been marking this as a gift.
Yeah, because they know.
They have to. I don't know how else they could.
They probably have your account and my account flagged. Like, if they put gift, we got to get this shit out because they will know.
Yeah. So
Yeah, I had an issue with somebody recently, and now I have a coupon on my phone that I can use later to get some free food for dinner tonight.
where at?
Burger King.
Popeyes.
No, Popeyes.
Did you get onion rings again?
Well, that won't change. That their onion rings do not have onions in them.
That doesn't mean you can't complain about it every time.
Oh,
Mike.
I can complain. Yeah. No, I complained because well, first my chicken nuggets, which I've had their chicken nuggets before, and I mean they're not great, but they're not horrible.
Yeah.
The ones I got that day.
Aren't they also like $1 for 5 of them?
They were cheap. Yeah.
Yeah.
They've gone up a little bit, but yeah, they're pretty cheap. But these did not taste good at all. So I did let them know. And then the Hershey's pie, there was something weird about that too. And then there was also the fries. There were rivals with Five Guys when it came to putting salt on those things. Yeah. I could eat a bowl of salt. I don't want that much salt. I want to taste the potato too.
There's no potato. Just like the onion rings don't have onions, the French fries don't have potatoes, Mike.
There's potato in the French fry. I mean,
You sure about that?
It's a potato-like substance. I mean, in the onion ring, there's not even an onion-like substance.
I mean, I'm sure they use a lot of onion seasoning.
Yeah.
Like, there's an onion substance.
Yeah. But it's also hollow. The fries are not hollow.
The chicken fries are all.
Yeah, they used to not be. The chicken fries used to be great. I used to love the chicken fries.
They still can be good every now and then.
I don't know why they fucked those up.
I don't know how you fuck those up.
Then they're like, hey, we got them back. I'm like, yeah, okay, you can keep them. The last time I had them, they sucked.
Yeah, I don't understand how you can fuck up just deep fry chicken finger and then here's a chicken fry.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah, I don't. I liked them before. Now I don't. But speaking of other things that I would like to complain to, but they're not going to give me anything free. UPS. Oh, I'm so tired of UPS. They can't get in my building on Saturday. I don't know why. Every other day of the week. Well, they don't try on Sunday, but Monday through Friday, they can get a package into my building. You hit Saturday, and I just know it's going to have a little thing on the thing saying delayed.
Maybe he's just trying to shorten his trip, so like any building that he has to have permission to get in, well, the office is closed on Saturday, I can't do it, and then just goes home.
But the office isn't open on any day. They go and put a code in and walk in.
Yeah,
take the elevator.
but UPS doesn't know that.
Well, the weekend guy apparently doesn't know that, but the weekday guy knows.
No, but even if it's the same guy, what I'm saying is you just say whatever building, because like there's a lot of buildings that you have to check with the front office or do a code or whatever first. If he just wants to go home, have a short day, like maybe he's paid 8 hours minimum anyway because they're union, and he goes, well, all these buildings, their offices are closed on Saturdays, so I can't deliver any packages because I can't get through. And then he just marks them all delayed, delivers the 20 packages to actual houses.
Well, he does it every single time.
And then goes home.
Because I don't get any packages on Saturdays.
You do it every time. You have to, because otherwise they'll think that something fucked up.
And my package was supposed to be there Saturday, and I just knew it wasn't going to be there. I have to wait till Monday.
Speaking of packages, Mike got something. You have it over there on that side?
Huh? Oh, yeah.
So Mike got something from one of his the subscription services
Yes.
that we're going to do kind of on the podcast, but not on the podcast. Oh, I thought you opened the bubble wrap.
No, I had not opened the bubble wrap.
Okay, well.
That's a great sound, isn't it?
Yep. Your mic's number 2. Okay. There. Oh, I thought you had a lot more bubble wrap.
No, I was just going to pull the barrel out. I'm not going to unwrap the shrink wrap.
Oh, I didn't know the bubble wrap was just going to be like a one and done. I thought you were going to sit there and like unravel it. Like
I can sit here and pop it if you need.
Like that guy in the movie theaters that just crunches his fucking nachos only during the quiet spots. And then has to open the plastic wrap. Yeah. No, so I just turned your mic.
That guy.
I turned your mic down so that it wasn't going to.
Yeah. But I was already done. But yeah, this is going to age whiskey. We're going to buy cheap whiskey, put this in here, and then let it sit for however many days. I think it's 10 days.
So if you're not watching the video, it's like a 6-inch tall barrel?
Yeah.
7-inch tall barrel that is like a whiskey cask that has a little hole in it. So you heat treat it with, I guess, stupid hot water, boiling water. And then you pick some type of whiskey. We haven't decided what type of whiskey yet.
We've talked about Costco whiskey, but we'll do something.
And then pour the whiskey in it, let it sit for, 10 days?
10 days. It ages for 10 days. And it's supposed to make cheap whiskey taste better.
Yeah, so then it
so
also
we'll do
came
a taste test.
Also came with a glass decanter, glass bottle.
Yes.
And then we'll do a taste test. So
we'll taste it, the cheap whiskey first, as cheap, and then we'll taste it after it's been in here for 10 days.
Yeah, and that'll be probably next week. Next week.
Yeah.
Because this one will come out whatever day this is, the 13th-ish. I think Monday's the 13th.
Monday's the 10th.
Is it?
Yeah, because today's the 9th and it's Sunday right now.
Oh, see, my days are gone. So this one will come out Monday the 10th. And then next week's, we're going to record tomorrow. So it'll have to be like 2 weeks from now.
See, I know
roughly.
that the 13th is Thursday because somebody we know, their birthday is that day.
I don't know. I don't know who that is.
Somebody at work. Terry.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't fucking have a birthday calendar.
I don't have a birthday calendar. It's in there. Some birthdays I just know.
I mean, yeah, but there's a lot.
I know.
So, yeah, that'll be we might fill it tomorrow so that we can just at least have that. Did it come with a funnel?
I'm not sure. I'll have to look. I doubt it. It should.
I think I have one somewhere. If not, we'll figure it out.
If not, we can get a 3-pack of funnels from AutoZone or something.
Well, we can just stop by Walmart. We have to go get the whiskey at Costco anyway.
Yeah.
Just stop by Walmart and get one of the little kitchen funnels that's like this big.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
We don't want to get a funnel bigger than the thing.
No, exactly.
But yeah, I think it's kind of cool. It's got a stand in there so it lays sideways.
Yeah, and then we'll just have that right here on the table while it's treating, aging, oaking, barreling, whatever.
Yes, it is oak.
Oh, it has a top and a spout. That's cool. Mike told me that he had 2 different options. He told me about. He's like, okay, so we'll get this one. He's like, when we get it, we need to treat it. I'm like, okay, like with fire? He goes, no, it says hot water. I'm like, well, that takes the fun out of it.
Yeah, well, it's already been treated with fire.
You don't know that.
I bought the thing. I know something about it.
Well, it's still wrapped. How do you know you got one that was treated with fire and not one that just got skipped the process?
Well, when I said that they don't need to be treated by fire by us, the implication was that they have already treated them. I'm hoping they did.
I didn't understand that as the implication. I just thought it was just, okay, here's some wood, and just
I'm
soak it in
hoping
hot water.
that they actually did do this and they didn't skip a step, because I don't want to have to send another email complaining. This thing took forever to get to me.
Didn't it take them like 2 or 3 weeks to ship it to you?
Yeah, it kept delaying. It's like, oh, yeah, we're going to send this out on the 7th.
Must have been getting delivered on Saturdays.
Well, they didn't even ship it. They didn't even ship it. They told me, oh, it'll be sent out on the 7th. Oh, it'll be sent on the 9th. Oh, it'll be sent on the 19th. Yeah. It got sent on Juneteenth. But it got to me eventually. As you can see, it's here.
That's good. We'll see how it goes.
What we need is a little gorilla to
Oh,
pick it
yeah.
up and
Donkey
throw it.
Kong.
Yeah.
I don't think I have any of those.
Because this would be perfect for a Donkey Kong barrel.
It would. But all I have is like Star Wars and Halo collectibles. I don't have any Nintendo.
Well, maybe Master
stuff.
Chief loses his mind and starts throwing barrels at Mario. Tired of his fame.
I just uploaded. I was just reading shit on the TV. I just listed another I think 30 or 40 things from my collection stuff on eBay because I don't want it no more.
Yeah.
It takes quite a while. So this time I did it differently. I was doing take pictures of everything, post it, and then or look it up. How much is it? And then take pictures, post it, and then okay, put that thing over here. Now do the next thing. So this morning, I was like, I'm gonna do it different. So I took pictures of a lot of shit and then put it all over onto the this is listed side of the room. And then today, put all the pictures from my phone and my computer, and just sat there for I think it was 2 hours, just posting shit on eBay. And it was, I don't know, I feel like it took about the same amount of time, but it was more comfortable doing it.
Yeah.
Because it's not sitting on the ground, take a picture, figure shit out. Okay, put it over here. Then do the same thing, and then your phone battery dies so quick doing pictures and eBay and just everything. So,
which speaking of eBay, we got our jackets at work recently.
is it going on eBay?
Well, I had thought about it, but I actually tried it on and it fits. I was shocked because it was considerably the size that they had available was considerably smaller than what I normally wear.
You said you got a medium, right?
No, it was large.
Oh, okay.
And I usually wear double XL. I'm a fat ass.
Well, but I thought you said medium, so that's a 3 or 4 size difference. I can fit, depending on what it is, what company, I can normally fit a large. I'm between.
Well, I just didn't think
large
it would fit because
2X, depending on the company.
So, but somebody at work was like, "Yeah, I'll give you $1 for it." I'm like, "Fuck that! I'll just sell it on eBay. I'll get more than $1 on eBay." I had I won't say what the promo the description I plan to put on it, but yeah.
When pizza parties aren't good enough.
Yeah, but yeah, I got it. It fit. It's gray. A lot of people got black ones. Mine's gray.
Oh, there you go.
But now it just goes with the many jackets I have now already.
Yeah.
I guess when I first moved here, I didn't have shit for jackets. Now I've got a bunch.
I had a couple. My mom bought me a Carhartt knockoff. What is it called? Wolverine at Burlington.
Wolverine, they make good boots.
That thing is fucking warm. To the point where the first 2 or 3 years I was up here, I think I wore it 10 seconds. I put it on, went outside, and was like, this is way too fucking hot. And then just rocked hoodies or nothing.
I had gotten some of my jackets from a clothing subscription. So I got a couple black bomber jackets, and I got a gray one. So now I have at least 2 black jackets and 2 gray ones. Plus I have a leather jacket.
Mike just changes his subscription. I'm going to visit Siberia. Send me some clothes. I appreciate you.
It's going to be cold. Well, the subscription, at different times of the year, they're going to have different types of clothes.
I mean, it also matters where you are. Summer in North Dakota versus summer in Vegas. Winter in Reno versus winter in South Dakota. We don't have a negative 40 wind chill.
Yeah, I've been in that. It's not pleasant.
Snot and drool freeze into your face.
Yes. And literally, you spit, and your spit will turn to ice before
you sneeze, and you just accidentally kill somebody else with the icicles.
Yes. But good thing is that the weapon melts before.
The old frozen bullet.
Yeah.
Conspiracy.
Well, also people say, stabbing somebody with an icicle. There's no weapon. Yeah, but there is a wound cavity, so They might find
Yeah,
water in
you
there.
can't get fingerprints off of water.
Yeah. But, there'll be other ways to figure it out, I'm sure.
Well, I mean, depending on how cold the frozen was and if you had gloves on or not,
Yeah.
there can still be skin cells and DNA and stuff. So
That's what I was going to say. Because the CSI has gotten a little more high tech than it was back in the day.
yeah, from like the first episode of CSI where they had the lawnmower with the computer screen on top of it saying we're X-raying the ground. Fuck out of here. Absolutely not.
I really wasn't talking about the show
I know you weren't.
so much, but
I know you weren't.
just in general, like years ago, they weren't using DNA.
No.
They didn't know what the fuck they were doing. They'd go into a place. Oh, that guy did it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even like well documented evidence. It was just like, well, somebody told me that he hated that guy, so it was obviously him.
Yeah, it's clearly.
Yeah, so give him the chair. That way you can't say anything else.
But I've seen so many, every so often a story will pop up. This person, they used DNA and found out he didn't actually do it after spending 30 years in prison.
Yeah, and then they give him $1 million.
And they're like, my bad.
Yeah. Here's $1 million. Welcome to technology and not knowing how to do anything for yourself.
Yeah. I think it should be more than $1 million.
Yeah. Our justice system is in need of improvements.
Minor, adjustments here and there.
Well, and that's, I think part of the whole issue is, and this is a massive tangent that could be its whole own episode.
Yeah, so we don't want to go too far.
Is the privatization of prisons is fucking trash.
Yeah.
Because it's a multi-billion-dollar, if not trillion-dollar a year, and I think it's still in the billions, of the private prisons are for-profit, like owned by corporations.
Yeah.
That profit off of them.
Yeah.
Because they get paid, I think it's like $60,000 to $100,000 a head for people in the cells, and then they have...
It benefits them to have the people stay in prison
yeah.
or come back in.
Yeah,
so it does not benefit them to actually rehabilitate and make somebody not have to come back.
Well, not just that. So the recidivism is incentivized 100%. But say you have 1,000 inmates, you only need 10 or 15 guards, and you're paying them, let's say, $100,000 a year. So, okay, so from that 1,000, you have, easy math, let's say 25 employees that are like around the clock, whatever. We'll call it 100 to make it really easy math and be on the generous side. Right. So now you have, what is that, $90 million coming in from the 1,000, take away 100. So you still have 900 people, 100,000 a head. I think it's $90 million a year. That's profit. I mean, buy food and, lights, whatever. So take that down, what, $2 million?
It's not like you have to feed them good,
Yeah.
You can buy, surplus food. And...
so around $88 million a year profit per 1,000 prisoners. That's a wild amount of money.
So when do we start the some offense intended private prisons? Buy a warehouse, throw up some walls, get some dogs.
That'll be it. Oh, fucking no.
We can make it look like a prison camp from like World War II. We'll have German shepherds there keeping everybody. And we'll make sure there's no tunnels underneath it and people, Yeah.
I think prisons in Sweden, Switzerland, they look like fucking resorts.
I've seen them. I've seen pictures. It's crazy.
They help you develop skills. They help okay, this is why you came in. Here's what you don't need to do anymore. Here's how you learn to not do it. Here's skills that you can go out and get a good job, career, whatever, and don't come back.
See, here what they do is they put people in there and say, okay, so you're in here for selling drugs. Don't sell drugs anymore. Now stay in your cell.
Yeah, and then buy drugs from someone else in the prison because they don't have a good grasp on what's...
You ever seen the movie Blow?
Yeah.
Yeah, he learned how to how to smuggle drugs and sell cocaine from going to prison.
Yeah.
Yeah, he went to drug school.
Well, and that's a lot of guards are on the take because, like, okay, yeah, like say I'm getting 80, 90,000 a year. If somebody says, hey, I'm going to start paying you another 30 or 40 something a year, like, that's a 40% raise.
Yeah.
Okay. You think they're going to say no?
No, they're going to say yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, because then they get home and they're like, hey, honey, I just got a raise.
Yeah, I just got a new car. Like, you can have my old one.
Yeah.
I'll buy you a flower.
Hey, honey, I just got a raise. Check out the gas station flowers I bought you.
Yeah.
Yeah, that probably wouldn't go over very well.
No, I don't think. How did we get here?
We started talking about private prisons.
Yeah, but how did we get there?
We talked about the justice system needing a little tweak.
It does. We did. I don't remember how we got anywhere near there.
Yeah, well, coming to a neighborhood near you, some offense intended, private prisons.
Oh, that's going to be Mike's whole thing. I'm staying away from that.
You can, we got a room for you if you plan to commit any crimes. I'll even bring in Old Sparky.
What is that?
That's what they started calling the electric chair in Florida because it started sparking and catching people's heads on fire.
Well, that's probably just from using too little water on the sponge.
Yeah, well, I still like to call it Old Sparky. So if you want your head on fire, well, many volts of electricity go through you. It'll be a good time. I don't know that they let the private prisons actually execute people.
I mean, I don't think so. Not many places let you execute people anymore. There's like 3 or 4 states that still have the death sentence, but it's still like, well, only if it gets approved can you kill somebody named Joy. Yeah,
they've got most of them. They do
lethal injection.
Lethal injection, yeah.
But even still, it's like a 20 or 30 year process of getting it all approved, and then it's just.
Well, when I start my private prison, I just get people who have already been on death row for a long time. Actually, that wouldn't be very profitable. I want them to stay there. I want them to be there for many, many years because
prison hospice.
Yeah.
Well, and see, there's the other thing. If they're on death row and they're these big bad prisoners, I'm sure it's supposed to be like a higher security prison.
Yeah.
And then that's probably more money. So that's why they drag out the paperwork the whole time because they don't want to lose a head.
Yeah, they're
not that they do beheadings. We're not France.
No, but there was there was a guy in, I think it was in Washington State. He requested to be hung, which was smart because the guy is really fat. But people protested him being hung because they're like, this is going to be torture, inhumane, because he was so fat that when they would hang him, it was going to behead him. So that he had people protesting his death penalty because of that. So
how did they know that it was going to behead him?
I don't know, but there was some protest about it. So if you're really fat and you're about to get killed, be like, yeah, I want to be hung. It'll draw it out some. Another guy, he was like, no, I'm not taking. He's like, he fought lethal injection. He's like, because if you guys do this wrong, if you don't get the right poison, then I'm there in pain. And when he was executed, they got the poison wrong, and he was there in pain. So he was onto something.
I mean, maybe they did it on purpose because of how much he was bitching about it.
Yeah.
That's how a lot of those people are. Like, I can't imagine that's an easy job in the first place, but
no.
If you have the appropriate amount of tendencies to keep you in a job where your job is to stick a needle in someone's arm to kill them,
yeah,
I would imagine that adding an oops, I guess he was right amount of torture,
yeah,
probably wouldn't be too far off.
No, probably not.
Because I don't think I could do that.
They used to do.
Well, time for your needle. Flick, flick, flick. Just here you go. Okay,
well,
bye.
They got like a system of 3 needles that go in, and then there's a first one that's supposed to like deaden it or something. I can't remember how it goes, but then one of them is the poison, and that's the one that gets you, of course.
Yeah.
Of course, like I was saying, though, they used to do public executions. But it wouldn't be the same if you have somebody laying down on a bed and they're like, got the needle ready?
Yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't have the same effect as when you hang somebody in front of everybody.
Well, no, and as morbid as it sounds, I think public executions had a large part of society.
Well, in France, they overdid it, though. They got to the point do you know why they invented the guillotine?
Because they didn't have enough things to hang rope from?
No, they the swords that they were cutting people's heads off with, they were cutting so many heads off they were getting dull. So they had to use a guillotine.
Have they never heard of an axe?
Well, I don't know. The axes were something was getting dull.
Oh, okay.
It was swords or axes, whatever. But so they had to do this, and the person who pulled the handle, he got paid a certain amount to, sit there and do this all day.
Yeah.
So he was basically doing production. But now the guy who had the short end was the guy who had to sit there and hold the person in place because, they show like in one of those, the person's head's in there and that's it.
Yeah, and they're not moving.
But no, there was somebody who would actually sit there and hold their ears, keep them into place for that blade to fall down.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and while that person, when they say somebody took their head clean off, it's not normally clean. And that person would get a little dirty. So he actually got paid more than the person who hit the little handle. His production job was a little different, a little messier.
Well, yeah, and that way you can stop while you're ahead.
Yeah. Well, they found that people would pull back. And
you think?
And it would cut the thing weird, so.
Probably.
And it was probably disturbing to the children who got to watch because they wanted to see, the
had to
cut.
watch.
Yeah.
I don't know about got to watch. Had to watch.
Well, I'm putting a different spin on it. Like, I got good seats this week. And then there's like, an all-day event of just watching heads coming off. Because I'm telling you, they did it a lot. That's why there was Bastille Day, where they stormed the Bastille. Because they were killing so many people.
Well, yeah, that's one of the ways you start a revolution.
Yeah. But I want to know why don't we celebrate Bastille Day here? Why
would we?
Why do we do other countries' Independence Day here?
Like?
You know who I'm talking about. Cinco de Mayo. That's huge here.
Yeah, that's because it's an excuse to drink.
Yeah.
Is one of them.
Well, you can drink, you can eat baguettes and drink champagne on Bastille Day. You know how good a fucking baguette is? I'd take a baguette right now.
Yeah, but
put a little butter on that shit.
What would the date be?
I looked it up once. I can't remember when Bastille Day is.
That's why nobody.
But you see, Cinco de Mayo isn't even the actual Independence Day.
No,
their Independence Day is in September.
Yeah, which makes it not. It was like when they won some battle, if I remember right, against France, wasn't it?
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah, Mexico won some battle. I'll have to look it up. We can talk about that next time.
Way to go. Good job.
Well,
but we could celebrate. There could be multiple days for our Independence Day. Because there was the day of the signing of the Declaration of Independence. There was still war fought after that.
Yeah.
That wasn't actual. The day was over. No, before the war was still going. We weren't independent yet.
Well, I mean, that's the same reason that Juneteenth is the way it is because like slaves were free.
Well, they didn't have the internet.
A long time. That doesn't.
They didn't let people know. The word didn't get to Texas.
People didn't. Oh, yeah. Oh, yep. Didn't. Oh, that's new. I didn't know that one. So I think it was when everybody.
Sorry,
else,
our wire service was down.
Yeah, everybody else around them all told them at the same time. That was June 19th.
Yeah, and they did it on the telegraph. They're like, finally, we got the telegraph back up, so they're sending the message.
Yeah, because that's.
And the guy read it wrong the first 15 times. They hired the wrong telegraph guy. He didn't go through the proper training.
Yeah.
I mean, have you ever read one of those things?
Yeah.
You're hearing a lot of beeps and clicks. I don't know if there's any clicks. It's just beeps. But That's the thing I never
There's
get.
the click tap of sending it, but it does send a series of beeps across the wire.
But that reminds me, there's so many shows and movies and different things where somebody will do like Morse code. And the person's like, "Oh, that's Morse code," and they know exactly what the person's saying.
Yeah, from the beginning of before they started listening to it and realized it was Morse code, they know the whole fucking sentence.
The whole thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, most people actually have to have a chart.
And there's always like 5 people that know how to read or say Morse code, like
and,
send it.
And they look at everybody else who doesn't, like, what are you, stupid?
Yeah.
How do you not know Morse code?
Like, obviously, SOS is a pretty easy one.
Yeah. ...
dash dash ...
But
and you just repeat. I don't even remember if that's correct, but if you just keep repeating those alternately, somebody's gonna pick it up and be like, "Oh, it's SOS."
But try doing that with a rock on a wall.
OSO doesn't make a difference.
How do you do a long one with a rock on a wall?
I feel like it would be like different intervals, so it'd be.
All right.
So like,
but I wouldn't pick up on it. You know, like, oh shit.
I mean,
the pizza's coming soon.
It's rapid taps and then long taps.
So I mean, because they can have complex messages on these shows and movies and be like, "Oh yeah, oh you ordered the pizza? Oh, did you remember to not put any anchovies?" Yeah.
I thought he said stepperoni, not pepperoni.
I thought you wanted pineapple.
To miss 2 letters. I said no pineapple. Oh, see, I just got pineapple because I didn't catch the whole message.
I didn't catch the beginning. You should have repeated. You should have repeated.
Pineapple does go on pizza. Follow us on...
Pineapple does not go on pizza.
Well, Mike's wrong, so...
Meat goes on pizza.
You only like cheese on pizza.
I like meat. I like sausage. I like beef. I just don't like pepperoni. I'll even take Canadian bacon.
Pepperoni is meat.
I don't like pepperoni.
Sausage is meat.
I didn't say all meat is good. No.
And anchovies and sardines are good. We're going to have to get some pizza in here on one of these podcasts and have Mike try them.
Mike does not like anchovies.
I mean, I'll eat them too, but I think we should have a pizza taste testing with stuff Mike doesn't like.
No, we should have pizza tasting, like try different kinds.
Yeah, with different toppings that Mike doesn't approve of.
No, we have sausage and meatball, but we can try it from Grimaldi's, Pizza Time, Pizzetta, whatever the hell it's called. We don't have to get Pizza Hut or some of the others that we've already had. And Mountain Mike's, we can leave that out because we've already had that.
I still think we should do get like 10 with different toppings, like very absurd toppings.
We get 1,000 listeners, and I'll do it.
There's been 1,000 listens.
No, on one pod. We need 1,000 followers.
That's a pretty hefty ask there. Follow us on stuff.
Yes.
Facebook and Instagram at Some Offense Intended. Twitter, Some Offense Pod. You say you make a threads just for you or for the podcast?
I just made one for me to start. So you're gonna follow us on stuff? What are we on stuff?
Some Offense Intended. Spotify, YouTube. Go give us a like, follow, subscribe, share. Do stuff and things. And tell Mike to eat anchovies on his pizza. Okay, bye.